How are you today, Pam? Is it Pamela? Can I call you Pam?
Absolutely can call me Pam. You absolutely. The only person that calls me Pamela is my mother. And when she does, there is this shiver of fear that goes down my spine. So I actually prefer Pam.
Wonderful. So how are you, Pam?
Well, it's go time. It's go time for us, and we are up to our necks in the final preparation for the World Games 2022. It's a big feat to welcome the world, not only to the great city of Birmingham, Alabama, but to the United States of America. So this game hadn't been in our country in over 40 years.
I saw that.
So there's a lot on the line here, but we're ready. We're ready.
So the selection now, I'm curious about that. Birmingham. Why Birmingham? Out of all of the locations in United States, why Birmingham? For the
Well,
ven- for the city of for this global stage.
sure. Sure. Well, my first thought is, well, why not Birmingham? I mean, we're fabulous. But I think a lot of what helped Birmingham win this amazing bid is that we already have a number of sports facilities already ready. Competition sites were already prepared here. We host a number of sports events from major golf tournaments to football, baseball, dance, ice skating. We host a lot of sport competitions already in our area. So, as part of that bid, to be ready to go can be a big piece of
Right,
you winning it. And
right.
then, of course, there's the historical factor of Birmingham, Alabama. We don't run from our past. We know, that it is the cradle of the civil rights movement here.
Indeed,
But
indeed.
the beautiful thing is that our city has progressed so magically since that time. You see, 40 years ago, I wouldn't be talking to you right now about a World Games.
Indeed.
So fast forward to now, I get to sit here with you and talk about something so monumental. I get to be in this role and to have a seat at the table for something that is going to be historic. I get to be a part of history along with so many other amazing people doing some wonderful things that's helped bring all of this to life. So that's why we won the games because we're ready and we're the Magic City and we can handle it.
Guys, so for those that are listening and for those that are viewing, I have to pull out the iPad here because Pamela Cook's resume is so impressive. So I want us to understand the person that we're speaking with here. Pamela is not only she's a board member for the World Games. Now, to understand the magnitude, the World Games puts you in the mind of the Olympics. There are 100 countries participating. And as Pam already spoke and shared with us, this is a 40-year anniversary.
It hasn't been in the United States in 40 years.
40 years. That's it,
The
since
very
1981.
That's correct. The first World Games was held in California in 1981. Since then, it's generally held in Asia or Europe or other countries. The United States just hasn't ever hosted the games. And so this was a huge feat for us to go after these games and bring it back to the United States after all these
After
years.
40
Now,
years.
we've hosted Olympics in the United States. Of course, we all know that. And the World Games is sanctioned by the International Olympic Committee. So we'll have that Olympic delegation will be here, that leadership from the Olympics will be here. Mr. Thomas Bach, who is the president of the International Olympic Committee, he'll be joining us for several days of this because the World Games will always happen the year after the Summer Games. So we're right on time. The Summer Games were delayed because of COVID.
Right.
And so we got a delay because of COVID, but now everything's back on track. And what's even more exciting is that we're going to actually have a full audiences in the stands for these various competitions. When we watch the Winter Olympics, when we watched international competitions during the COVID scare and the COVID crisis, remember there were no audiences. There
Right.
wasn't an audience at the last Olympics, and it just kind of felt a little sad that those athletes had worked so hard, and there were very few people in the stands to celebrate and cheer them on. Well, the World Games, we're in a position now where we can welcome the world. We can have full stands. We can
And
have people can be there to cheer these athletes on. They work so hard. They work all their lives for these
Wow.
moments, and we get to
Right.
be there. We get to do
Right.
it.
Right. And because I am going to go back to you, but just for those that again who are listening and viewing the competitors and the athletes, these are sports in a broad range of categories. There's archery, there's flag football, which I'm understanding that the NFL is supporting that as
Yes.
it's sponsored and behind it. There's water skis, there's beach handball, any sport that you can think of. Here is where it's happening in Birmingham. As you said, we know
Mhm.
historically this is a birthplace of the civil rights. So back to you and your career and your role in the World Games 2022. In addition to a board member of that, which is a huge deal, you're an African American woman of color, you're in this position. How does that feel? And give us a little bit more about your background.
Yeah, I'm incredibly honored. I mean, it is just a massive undertaking. So, my day job, if you will, is that I serve as Director of Multicultural Marketing and Community Affairs for Coca-Cola Bottling Company United. So, as anybody knows, Coca Cola being the global brand it is, we saw fit to become one of the sponsors for the World Games. It's right here in the backyard. So, why wouldn't we?
Mhm.
It's always our pleasure to be in moments of joy and happiness and be where our consumers are. So, if the World Games is important to the consumer base, that's where we want to be too, because,
Indeed.
it all ties in together. Well, as a sponsor, we were offered an opportunity for a board seat, as other sponsors are as well. And I stepped up and said, okay, I'll do it. And then I was sitting in a meeting and opened my mouth a little too many times with ideas. And next thing you know, it was like, hey, can you come down and help lead the marketing team on the World Games? So, in
Hey,
addition to being director of multicultural marketing, I serve as chief marketing officer for the World Games 2022. So, yes.
I want to pull that point out. You were there as a board sponsor, and you said I opened my mouth a little bit too much, and this happened.
Yes.
What do you say to people who may be in a room and they speak up? Should they?
Mhm.
Shouldn't they? Look at what happened for you. Because you know certain things that apparently for you to be offered that, your knowledge and insight spoke to whomever that was. Wait, can you be a part of this marketing endeavor that we have?
Mhm.
What do you say to that? For those that are in the room that know they have the
Yeah,
knowledge, and they have additional insight.
I say use your words. Use them as often as you can. You can't get anywhere just by being in a room. You got to own the room sometimes. Open your mouth. You have one mouth and two ears. So you listen attentively and use your words so that when you speak, you have something valuable to say. And when that value is conveyed, it will open doors for you that you couldn't even imagine. So use your words, speak up, ask the questions, advocate for yourself, but do it. Do it. You only gonna lose if you didn't say anything. Only
Thank
go
you.
for it. Why not?
Thank you for that nugget, Pam. We
You're
appreciate it. I know
welcome.
I do. Okay,
Yeah,
so
do it. Say it. Do it. Ask. Be,
indeed,
do,
indeed.
go. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. I do. I'm pretty sure the listeners will as well, and viewers in your position. If you have an inspirational word, um, for women, for people of color. We are in historical moments at this
Mhm.
time where things are shifting. What would be
Mhm.
your advice for them in terms of advancing, or if they have a business idea, or they know that they're due, they have it in them, but have not been able to get it out and get into the places where they feel they should be? What would be your words to them?
Thank you for asking. I always tell people this. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be and watch them pull you up. It's never failed.
Wonderful.
Just simply get in the room with people who are where you want to be. If you want to be independently wealthy, get around people who are independently wealthy. If you want to be around someone who started a successful tech business, go find that person and get around them. If you want to launch your own clothing brand and have it sell through e-commerce, go get around somebody who's done it. Watch them pull you up. It will always happen.